WWBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Oh, son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary.
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, alongside me, myself, and I. Something like that. Yeah, kind of running the solo show for the moment. Lucas, the intern, running a little bit late, but he should be in here for what is definitely going to be a jam-packed hour. Of course, the Payback pay-per-view this past Sunday. A lot that fell out from that, including my predictions, which I'll get more into once Lucas makes his arrival into the building. Also, we had the NXT TakeOver Unstoppable special this past Wednesday, and a rather notable appearance at that we'll get into. And a pay-per-view. Well, yes and no. A Brucey bonus pay-per-view, if you will. A network exclusive that'll be on just the WWE Network. So those of you who just order the pay-per-views via your cable providers, you're going to be shut out of this one. That's right. Elimination Chamber, the network exclusive, coming 1 week from tomorrow, May 31st. And so far, 5 matches that look pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Also, we've got some news and notes to get into, and a couple of notable events, at least as far as history goes. One of which is, well, not exactly a fun one to talk about, but today is May 23rd. It is the anniversary. It is 16 years to the day, so I guess that would make it the 15th anniversary. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the WWE math of it, but 16 years ago today, that was the Over the Edge pay-per-view for the World Wrestling Federation at the time, and the unfortunate and tragic passing of Owen Hart. And in kind of, I guess, a those who fail to remember the past are doomed to repeat it kind of thing, I have some of the audio from that pay-per-view that we'll get into here in the hour. And also, for those of you who are late-nighters like I am, and I guess with my shoot job, it's even later than late night, you probably heard that David Letterman, the longtime late-night talk show host, has retired from his duties after 33 years. And I figured it'd be fun to pull up some clips of various wrestling personalities who made their way onto his show. Obviously, the one that people jump to, and I'll more than likely put the whole thing up on the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, the infamous interaction between Jerry the King Lawler and comedian Andy Kaufman from back in 1982. That one I'll put up there, mainly because there's a little bit of colorful language that I really didn't feel like editing out, I'll be honest. But there are some other fun ones that we can get into a little bit later in the hour, including a gem from January of 1984 with Andre the Giant, and also from New Year's Eve 1985 with none other than Vince McMahon. Yeah, it'll be... I can only imagine what his opinion would be looking back at it. We also have birthdays today in wrestling history. Of course, I got to talk about the Monster Factory and George's Cards and Collectibles a little bit later, and a litany of news and notes. But first, we're going to go right to the phones to a gentleman whom we haven't heard from in quite a while, but has been a longtime loyal listener and caller to the show, making his return to the phone lines, none other than Dan from Chicago. Dan, welcome back.
I'm back, baby.
How's that for an introduction?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
No problem. So what's on your mind?
Well, a lot.
Obviously, because you haven't been on in like 6 months.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Samoa Joe's here.
Samoa Joe in NXT making his first appearance at the NXT TakeOver Unstoppable event.
I popped for that one.
It had been kind of rumored and whispered around, but I guess it was good. Seeing is believing, and it was good to finally see it.
Right, and I loved the fact that soon after that, minutes after that, there was all these rumors about TNA possibly going bye-bye.
Yeah, that's, I believe it was Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter who threw that out there. Reportedly, TNA Impact Wrestling might be canceled by Destination America. I'll give you that story now since you brought it up. According to Dave Meltzer, again, I'm throwing that out there, Destination America has made the decision to cancel TNA Impact Wrestling programming at the end of the third quarter of 2015. So that would be somewhere in the, I guess, end of September range, give or take.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're saying that it's not true and they're going to take legal action on this, maybe. They did that before when they supposedly weren't supposed to leave, when they were going to leave Spike TV. They said that wasn't going to happen.
Well, they never directly referenced this story. They just responded with a generic, vague statement that I have here, and I'm going to read it in almost kind of a sassy, dignitary voice, but it has come to our attention that several internet news sources have falsely attributed statements to TNA, its executives, and broadcasting partner. These false statements constitute defamation, and if necessary, we will seek all legal remedies available to us.
Well,
they don't say what exactly it is. Yeah, I mean, they could be talking about how somebody says that TNA sucks, and that could be considered defamation. They're not necessarily talking about the Dave Meltzer story from the Wrestling Observer.
Right.
So, I don't know. They're just kind of throwing it out there to make a denial, but not necessarily denying anything, if that makes sense.
Unbelievable. I'm kind of glad in a way, but how does this make Josh Matthews look? Because he left WWE to go to TNA. And all these people that, you know what I mean, they left, and they got to be happy that they left, but what about these people that do have jobs there? I kind of feel bad about it.
Well, Josh Matthews, I think, is doing it to himself because ever since he moved over to TNA, he has been doing nothing but lighting match after match and tossing it at the bridge over to Titan Towers in Stamford, Connecticut. He has just been incinerating bridges left, right, and sideways. So if TNA does go under, I don't think you're going to be seeing him welcomed back in WWE circles. I don't want to say never, but certainly not for a long while.
So what happens to all these TV deals they have international, all over the world that they have? But are they going to go maybe online in the States?
I mean, it could be possible. I mean, that's what WWE did when they decided to get rid of superstars, but they still had international agreements, or I think they had to switch things around with Main Event before they put it on the network. But there isn't exactly an Impact Wrestling network.
No,
not an over-the-top system as WWE has created. So there's a lot of questions still to be answered and answers still to be questioned.
Right. But the last time I popped, when Samoa Joe came out on Wednesday, was when Sting showed up in November at Survivor Series.
So it's the crossover that seems to get you going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was pretty happy about that.
Well, it's as close as you're going to get in this age of internet and knowing everything and spoilers and rumors to a surprise.
Well, I knew, but I was still happy that they were there.
Oh, okay.
I was still happy when they came on.
I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but if as I'm digging through and I see a news story that might be considered a spoiler, I don't even bother looking at it.
Oh, really?
I figure what's the point of me? What's the point of me knowing and coming on here on the air and being like, I know something you don't know. It just doesn't.
Exactly, I know.
It doesn't come across. It makes me sound like I'm some arrogant, pompous arse, to use the Sheamus term.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be anything further from the truth, no matter how much I slag on Lucas.
Right. But I thought I'd call and say hey, and I'll be around and everything. And
now the summer's here. Yeah, Memorial Day weekend's here, and now all of a sudden the weather's nice, and you finally dug yourself out from the snow there in Chicago. And
you guys too, I'm sure, right?
It didn't really hit us that bad this year. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
Now that I say that, we're going to get like 17 feet this coming winter, but I'll worry about that come November.
Yeah, I love the fact that I called. Lucas is pulling an Axl Rose and showing up whenever he wants.
Well, no, I mean he has had some other arrangements. Part of it is a pre-organized soccer league that he's in, so there are some games that he plays earlier in the morning and he's able to get here on time, and then there are others that directly conflict. I believe in this case his game started maybe a couple hours ago, so he said he'll more than likely be late. So we'll catch him for the second half of the program to talk about all kinds of stuff, because I know his head's spinning after this past week.
Yeah, it's been a fun week.
It most certainly has. And
all right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All righty. Thank you so much, Dan from Chicago, chiming in for the first time in a long time. So let me go ahead and get to this, and then we'll take care of our first time out, because I know this will be a few minutes. But we're going to turn back the clock here 16 years ago, back when I was still in high school and Lucas was still in diapers. Over the Edge 99, and for those who haven't seen this before, because it's obviously not available on the network, it's Jim Ross with the call leading up to a package for what was supposed to be a match for the Intercontinental title, the then champion, the Godfather, defending against the Blue Blazer. And just before they headed to the interview was when the fateful fall occurred.
Let's take you now to an interview conducted earlier tonight with Kevin Kelly and the Blue Blazer, and we got big problems out here.
Well, Blue Blazer, you got a big match tonight, going after the Intercontinental Championship, taking on the Godfather.
Ooh, the Godfather. Just saying his name makes my blue blood boil. Ooh, the Godfather, my arch nemesis. He represents everything that's wrong with the WWF. But fear not, because I, the Blue Blazer, will always triumph over evildoers. And you know why? Because I always take my vitamins, say my prayers, and drink my milk. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing live television, a lot of things can happen, and sometimes they are not good. The Blue Blazer, as we know, as Owen Hart, was going to make a very spectacular superhero-like entrance from the rafters, and something went terribly wrong here. Certainly, Owen Hart, Blue Blazer, very serious situation here at this point in time is being attended to by the EMTs. This is not a part of the entertainment here tonight. This is as real can be here. And the EMTs are tending to Owen in the ring now. And we are at a little bit of a loss in this situation. I've been doing this for more years than I would like to admit. And this is it's one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. This is not your typical wrestling storyline. This is a real situation. Owen Hart was to ascend in a superhero-like entrance from the ceiling of this arena, and something terribly, terribly went wrong. I don't know if the harness broke or what the malfunction was, and we are going to keep our cameras on this crowd at this point in time, simply because we are going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, as best we can. Coming up in a few moments, try to get our situation here back together. Coming up in a few moments, it will be a very unique matchup, and certainly all my children has nothing on these four superstars about to get it on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, Owen Hart was scheduled to descend from the top here, the Kemper Arena, in a superhero-like entrance in his blue blazer character. Something has gone terribly wrong with the equipment that Owen Hart was being lowered down to the ring, and the paramedics are working on Owen Hart. Let me tell you, we are going to have, and we've already had some entertaining things. This is not a part of the show. I don't know any better way to put it. This is not a wrestling angle. This is real life. Right now by a host of EMTs. We are not going to put this on television. It is not a sensationalistic attempt to leave a mark here on this event. It was, again, we don't know exactly what malfunctioned. Obviously something in the apparatus, we assume, and that's all we're doing is assuming that went wrong, unless Owen inadvertently released himself before he was near the ring. So again, we will have our mixed tag team matchup. We will have the rest of this broadcast. But the bigger issue now is that a human being, Owen Hart, has been terribly injured here on this live broadcast. So we will, again, there's been so many things that have happened here, but right now nothing is more important than the health and the welfare of not only a great athlete, but a very unique and a good human being who is now being attended to in the ring. And again, I can only reiterate the best way that I know how, and if I'm not being as articulate as I would like to be, I hope that you can understand that this was not, I repeat, this was not a wrestling angle. This was not part of the storyline. This was a terribly, terribly tragic situation. And the EMTs now are giving Owen Hart external heart massage. There are several folks are there to attend to him. And Jerry Lawler back joining me here. King, I was just reiterating the fans, this is not a part of the show. We're here to entertain and have fun, but this is neither.
No, it doesn't look good at all.
So again, Owen is being attended to. He is now leaving the ring. We are not going to sensationalize this event by taping it, by showing you what's going on, and Owen Hart getting a tremendous ovation here as he is being carried from the ring. And thank God that the EMTs who are already here tonight standing by, that they were here and able to get here so quickly. And folks, again, there's so many things going on. We will keep you updated on this situation. And our mixed tag team match, by the way, is coming up next. We will tell you that. And Kevin Kelly, we do understand, is standing by. Let's take you now to Kevin Kelly, who I think is with Jeff Jarrett and Deborah. Owen Hart was set to make an entrance from the ceiling, and he fell from the ceiling. And I have the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died. Owen Hart has tragically died from that accident here tonight.
That was JR about an hour after the initial fall. The pay-per-view continuing on. Jeff Jarrett and Deborah, who were part of a mixed tag match, almost literally had to be pushed through the curtain as they were fighting tears just out of concern for Owen. Just thinking back and reliving all of that, it was just a very surreal moment. One of those just... I don't know, one of those that transcends reality because it was reality in a sense. But, Owen was a class act. I know there's been a lot of debate, and there's going to continue to be a lot of debate as to whether he should be a Hall of Famer. And I think a lot of that depends on Owen's family, his widow, Martha Hart, and their two kids, and how they feel how they feel Owen should be remembered. They don't want WWE to profit off of this accident, so they don't really want WWE to glorify Owen any more than they already have. They just let his place in history be what it is, but don't hold a fanfare for someone who lost his life due to circumstances caused by them. See, I go and give a whole serious deal here, and then all of a sudden you just show up. Here, let me get you a microphone here, Lucas. Hello.
You didn't have to play the music at this point in the somber moment.
Well, it's your entrance though. Plus, I mean, it's not like CM Punk hasn't interrupted other somber moments. So I mean, it's very
Mysterio's daughter's
like the Rey Mysterio's daughter's birthday thing. Exactly.
I was listening. We rushed from the. Please continue. I don't want to rudely interrupt.
No, you of course not. No, I needed to find a way to brighten the moment, and I was honestly going to go to a commercial break if you hadn't gone right in anyway, because I'm A, late for a break, and B, I don't know. I feel like Casey Kasem trying to come out of an up-tempo number going into a dog dying. You know that whole bit?
Finish what you were saying.
You know, as scatterbrained as I am, I can't remember what the heck it was I said.
A lot of people debating whether or not Owen.
Whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame, yeah. And I think ultimately he probably eventually will be, but I don't think it will be at the blessing of Owen's widow, Martha. I have a hunch that WWE is going to do what they'll do, but and whether it's a good PR move or not, I don't know. I guess if there are enough people clamoring for it, I don't know. It's been 16 years. They say time heals all wounds, and never say never in the professional wrestling business, unless it involves Chris Benoit.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. No, that was Jim Neidhart in a mask back in '94. Allegedly.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know if you're lost on that one. I'll go over it with you. On the,
I know.
Okay, but either way, I'm so late for a break. I'm gonna get in trouble. We'll be back. Lucas has a lot of things to say. We've got a lot still to get into.
Go over NXT TakeOver as well.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it with Dan from Chicago. We'll get more into that.
Dan called in.
Yeah, I know. How about that? I know. We'll catch up during the break, catch you up on where we're at here, and a lot still to do. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas the intern.
It's
fresh off of his football match.
Yeah, true. It's a big fight feel here at Pro Wrestling Weekly. And,
take a boo, son.
Take a boo. Messy.
Oh,
Haley.
Gosh. If things are getting messy around
Rudy.
here. You know what? Actually, you know what was
Narcissus.
messy? My payback picks.
Ah, nice segue.
You schooled me. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you got 6 out of the 8 right.
Really?
I only got 4 of them right.
Really?
Yeah, we both apparently had way too much love for the Meta Powers, so that one we didn't get right. And Neville beating King Barrett via that cheap count out, where he just it would have been a fine move if he had a title and didn't want to lose the title, so he retained via count out. But it's not like his kingship was on the line. That
would have been pretty cool.
It seemed chintzy.
If it did. That would have been pretty cool if it did, if it was on the line. The battle for the crown.
It would have reminded me of like '89 with Haku and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and what eventually became Macho King Randy Savage.
I feel like that could be a stipulation, though, from time to time, as you put the crown on the line.
The crown is a title?
Not
I don't know.
They haven't really. It's just like.
Well, I mean, but they haven't done it really since that time, and that was more years ago than I can do the math for. 26 years ago. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think they're that's about as likely to come back as the Ultimate Survivor Series match. If you remember that.
What was it? The 19.
That was 90.
Was that
the same year as the Egg?
Was that the one with all the remaining?
The winners went on to an Ultimate Survivor match at the end of the night. Yeah. They did. That was a one and done because it seemed like a cool concept on paper, but they never did it again after that.
So was it? I'm still confused with that. So all the winning team members would...
The remaining... whoever survived. So if you were pinned or submitted or whatever, you were eliminated, and that was it. But if your team still won, whoever remained from that team advanced.
So then how would they split the teams up in the Ultimate Survivor Series match?
They basically put it as the faces against the heels. Yeah. It was a 3-on-5 handicap tag match.
Was it any good?
It wasn't bad. Well, you know what? I was going to say, we can pull it up on the WWE Network and you can judge for yourself.
True. Very true.
Cheers. So, yeah, ones that we got right, Sheamus beating Ziggler, New Day retaining
I just want to... How about...
Oh, the headbutt.
He got busted open, man. Like,
he needed 10 stitches to close that. Did you know that?
Because when if you look, after he headbutts him, you see him put his hand up to his face, so maybe he bladed.
Or maybe Sheamus is just really hard-headed.
I don't know, but
those Irish can tend to be stubborn, you know.
I'm just saying, maybe he bladed.
Jerry is an Irish last name, so this is how I know this.
Let me get to my point.
All right.
Maybe when Ziggler put his hand up to his face and he was blading, maybe he cut a little too deep. Maybe it was a little too fast because he knew he had to get away with it quickly. So maybe he bladed and cut it a little too deep and then...
This is a lot of secrets you're exposing here.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, man.
I'm just the intern.
There we go. So he's going to go answer the phones. In the meanwhile, the two that we differed on, of course, I didn't get either of them right. Bray Wyatt ended up beating Ryback, and Naomi and Tamina beating the Bella twins. So, yeah, there those were. So I went 4-4 for the pay-per-view. You went 6-2 for 2015. I'm 22-14. You are 24-12. Batting .667 there, young buck.
Oh, well.
I bet you're... I know, I was going to say... Yeah, in your case, it's more like Ralph Wiggum.
I beat the smart kids. I beat the smart kids.
Or I guess in this case, it's more... I beat the smart marks. I beat the smart marks.
And that deserves a $1 million man laugh.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Fun times.
While we're on the subject of results, though...
I thought you were going to say, speaking of smart marks.
No.
Actually, that is a good... Speaking of smart marks, Eric... I'm not saying Eric from Minnesota, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew is a smart mark, but he posted this up on Twitter and wanted to get our take on this. Josh Matthews putting a tweet earlier this week regarding NXT TakeOver asking, how did the NXT announcers know who Samoa Joe was if we, referring to TNA, are obscurity in their world? Sick of hypocrisy.
Josh Matthews is really just...
He's become like the bitter D-bag like ex. Yeah, like he left WWE and he's just... I was saying like this with Dan with Chicago. He's just burning bridges left and right.
Seriously, I don't understand what Josh Matthews is just like... It's making... TNA is making me hate Josh Matthews more and more. I don't understand what he's doing. Why is he just... Ugh. I don't want to hate Josh Matthews, but he's making me do it. He's making me do it.
He's being hateable.
Yep.
I don't know. He's it's like he's healing out, but he's getting heat in the wrongest of ways.
Yeah. He's getting shoot heat.
Yeah. That is accurate.
Yep.
All right, so I had these earlier. Now, you know what? I think what we'll do, just because of time constraints, I guess we'll throw it up to the listeners. And you can chime in via the Facebook fan page. I have 2 audio clips. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, earlier this week, David Letterman ended his late-night talk show run, and I dug through some of the archives. Now, most people, when they think David Letterman and professional wrestling involvement, you go back to Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman and their whole feud with everything in Memphis and the movie Man on the Moon and the whole bit. And it would have been easy to go that route, and probably after the show I'll end up putting up the full clip of that because the recent DVD did a nice job of cleaning up the quality of the footage and whatnot because it is 33 years ago. But there's also a lot of profanity that I really didn't feel like bleeping out.
True.
So Instead, I found a gem from January 23rd, 1984, when David Letterman had Andre the Giant. So there's that. Or from New Year's Eve, 1985, Letterman decided to kind of make a play off of, the first baby born in the new year would be the Late Show baby. So there were two different hospitals in New York, and he had a couple of correspondents. One of them was NBC's Bob Costas, and the other was none other than then notable commentator Vince McMahon.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Vince McMahon or Andre the Giant, which one do you go? I think in his case, he'll be more looking at this whole thing is embarrassing. It really is. Because for him, it was embarrassing because really it was meant to be like a whole like spoof joke thing, and Vince took it seriously. Yeah, it's really funny. Just, I think the visual might be better with that, so I think we'll probably go with the Andre interview just because you have to see the visuals on Vince's face. They're very, because it's around that time frame, they're very Stand Back-esque. If you remember the Stand Back video from the 87 Slammies.
No, is that the one with Hulk Hogan playing bass?
And Macho Man and, it was Macho Man, Brutus Beefcake, and Jake Roberts all in the brass section playing like trumpets and stuff.
I'm gonna watch that. Anyway,
that might have to be post-show view. All right.
We should go over NXT TakeOver, considering we were getting on that subject.
Well, we talked a little bit about it. Kevin Owens fighting Sami Zayn to the no contest. Samoa Joe making his appearance.
I was very upset with the main event. Not for the fact it was great, but the fact that I just want to bring something up real quick. I feel like as a wrestling fan, I'm getting slapped in the face, and not for the obvious reasons.
Like a Lawler to Kaufman slap?
I feel as if my favorite wrestlers in particular are either not with the company, don't want anything to do with the company, injured, or just not getting the push I'd
not getting what they deserve or what you feel they deserve.
What not even what I'd like them to get. Let's go down the list, shall we? CM Punk wants nothing to do with the company.
I was going to say no more.
CM Punk. Daniel Bryan, it was heartbreaking when he got that concussion. Apparently he may never wrestle again. Sami Zayn, I want him to win that NXT championship again so bad, and that match just broke my heart because they had him finish it. Pretty much they're going to say he's probably going to be taken off TV again, and he probably won't fight for the title. Let's see.
Those shoulder injuries are a killer.
Yeah. How's yours, by the way?
Kind of like the Stevie Wonder song, Uptight, Everything's All Right. See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Okay.
AJ's not with the company anymore.
Styles or Lee. No, I know you meant Lee, but yeah.
Let's see. Who else? Ziggler, he's fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, but I'd like to see him go for the world title. And to be honest, Ambrose is like, he's fighting for the title at Elimination Chamber, but we all know.
It kind of seems like a lame duck kind of thing.
It's like we all know he's not going to win.
Well, let's talk about Elimination Chamber because this card looks real good so far.
Yeah, I know. We all know he's not going to win because J&J Security is going to get involved, and I want to see Ambrose have the title.
In due time. Yeah. You also got John Cena against Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber.
Match.
Non-title match, but U.S. champion John Cena against NXT champion Kevin Owens. Yeah, that I'm looking forward to. We'll have our predictions next week for this. The vacant Intercontinental title will be won in an Elimination Chamber style as you've got King Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Rusev, Ryback, Sheamus, and R-Truth. One of these things is not like the other. Also, Nikki Bella defending the Divas title against Paige and Naomi.
Triple threat match.
In a triple threat match for the Divas title. And then the tag titles are on the line. That should be interesting just to see how they do it. The New Day defending against the Ascension, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, Los Matadores, the Primetime Players, and the Lucha Dragons.
I very much enjoyed seeing the primetime players clean house on Monday night. That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what we've got. That we'll get into more of that next week. What else do I want?
Wait, what about the Usos though? Why aren't they getting any?
The one's injured.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good. He had surgery a little bit ago. He's going to be out for like 6 months.
Oh wow.
I think it was. I forget if it was Jimmy or Jay now. What can I say? They're twins. They look alike.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd remember these things, but nope.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to a timeout here, I've got to get into this fun story. A WWE Hall of Famer possibly going to porn? That's right. TMZ.com is reporting a WWE Hall of Famer, Tammy Sunny Sitch, is negotiating a deal with adult film company Vivid Entertainment, and that a six-figure offer is on the table for Sitch to go from sports entertainment to adult entertainment to become a genuine porn star in multiple films. I was going to say, careful with your next words here.
I feel like it's a little too late for that to happen.
Well, she is in her early 40s.
It's not even that. She just...
Yeah, I know. She's basically been doing the same thing for free recently, or close to free.
Like she does. She doesn't look the way she used to, and it's not even. It's because of that whole thing after Candido died, which is understandable. But I mean, she went through a lot of stress. But
now bear in mind, Vivid Entertainment's going to her. They're saying, Sonny, we want you. Vivid Steve Hirsch told TMZ, quote, after the tremendous success of China, this makes total sense.
Oh, yeah, tremendous success. Quote-unquote success.
Hoping we can work it out. Now, a couple of days later, Sitch responded to the story via Twitter saying, quote, to clear the air, I am not doing a porn. I have been approached by Vivid Entertainment, but nothing has been negotiated or put on paper. Oh. However, that was a couple of days ago. 8 hours ago, TMZ notes that Sunny may be getting, I'm going to read it direct from TMZ here, Diva Sunny may be getting in the ring for a XXX faceplant because we've learned she's inclined to sign on with a huge adult entertainment company. She says she's been mulling over Vivid honcho Steve Hirsch's six-figure porn offer and is now 60-40 in favor of it, but there's a snag. Hirsch really wants the scene to be set in a wrestling ring, but Sunny thinks that gag has been played out. Sunny favors the more traditional setting like a hotel room. You know what? Any opinion that I give any further on this is probably going to get me into trouble. So we're going to move on from that and let you know about our good friends George's Cards and Collectibles. That's right, they're bringing you the legends. Just last week, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and the franchise Shane Douglas were at George's in the Chamonix Mall, and there's plenty more coming up over the next few weeks.
I mean, it would be different if it was Lita, but I mean,
We're moving on here, please.
Sorry.
Well, I don't know about Lita showing up at George's, but this Friday, May 29th, WWE Hall of Famer Larry Zbyszko, the living legend, will be at George's in the Chamonix Mall from 6 to 8 p.m. Also on Saturday, June 13th, TNA star Eric Young and WWE legend the Honky Tonk Man will be at George's in the Chamonix Mall from 2 to 4.
I'd definitely like to meet Eric Young.
Well, the Honky Tonk Man's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him, but I have to fulfill an obligation for my friend who watches his fishing show. So.
Ah, yes. You did mention that before. I do recall this. Check out George's 3 locations for all your sports and wrestling memorabilia needs, including their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Fairless Hills, on the lower level of the Oxford Valley Mall next to the Sears Court, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the AMC Theater Wing. For more info on the upcoming Larry Zbyszko, Eric Young, and Honky Tonk Man signings, give George's a call at 215-943-2475 or go to georgescollectibles.com. All right, on the other side, we've got Today in Wrestling History, we've got birthdays, we've got to talk Monster Factory, of course, and a few more stories of news and notes, and of course, Andre the Giant on David Letterman. All that and more. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, May 23. On this date in 1993, WCW held its Slamboree pay-per-view. In the main event, Davey Boy Smith defeated WCW World Heavyweight Champion Big Van Vader by disqualification. On this date in 1999, the WWF held its Over the Edge pay-per-view. In the main event, The Undertaker pinned Steve Austin with Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon as guest referees to win the WWF Championship. On this date in 2010, WWE held its Over the Limit pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena defeated Batista in an I Quit match to retain the WWE Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, May 23.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the intern.
How you doing?
There you go. Bring that mic a little bit closer. There you go. Let the people hear you.
The people want to hear my voice.
Yeah, it's getting dropped.
True. It's damn true.
Well, I'll use my voice to tell you about some little tidbits of news and notes and whatnot. Did you know that The Rock was honored in Hollywood?
Yes, I did. I follow him on Instagram.
Oh, see, I don't have Instagram because I'm not one of the cool kids or something.
I'm not a cool kid either. I just have it.
You just have Instagram?
So I can post funny pictures and not annoy people. So,
unlike on Facebook where you post funny pictures and annoy?
Yeah, apparently I do. I don't understand if they have a problem with that. They can just not watch, not look at the post. But
yeah, if you don't like it, don't look at it.
Let's hear what The Rock, what the Great One did.
Well, he was honored this past Tuesday by having his hands and feet imprinted in concrete at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood. You know that tradition from way back in 1927 when it was the Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Yes.
Historic for the concrete slabs of movie celebrity handprints, footprints, and signatures going all the way back to the 1920s. So how about The Rock being included in that? Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Also, in some not-so-good news, a setback for the bad guy. WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall escorted out of a pro wrestling event in Asbury Park, New Jersey at the Skate and Surf Music Festival. TMZ reporting that Hall, who was allegedly intoxicated, was given multiple chances to sober up and never did, so organizers ordered him to leave. Hall demanded to be paid for his appearance, so security had to remove him. DDP has been helping Hall rehabilitate, told TMZ that Scott Hall has, quote, stumbled in his battle with addiction, and adding, he's stumbled along the way, but he is doing well overall. I've got his back. Even Jake the Snake has fallen a few times, but he is now 1 year sober and doing great. So hopefully the bad guy, the Hall of Famer, Scott Hall, can turn it around.
Yeah.
I know. It's one of those uphill battles, just lifelong. Everybody has their hiccups along the way.
True.
Also, did you hear Sting's son got an NFL tryout?
Really?
Yeah, Stephen Borden Jr. He's taking part in a 3-day rookie minicamp with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, good for him. Oh, my cousin's the drumline major for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Huh? I did not know that.
He's the head of the drumline.
Huh? Maybe some. I don't know. Borden, the son of pro wrestler Sting, was asked in a KansasCity.com piece how his teammates have responded. He said, quote, I'm used to it by now. You're going to get a couple of comments here and there in the locker room, but eventually people just see me as Stephen Borden, and that's what it is. Borden's considered a long shot to make the NFL team, but he doesn't seem thrilled about the possibility of stepping between the ropes if football doesn't work out, saying, quote, I always tell people if one day I'm homeless on the streets, then I might try it. Borden playing tight end at Kentucky, and he went undrafted by any NFL team. The only other son of a pro wrestler currently in the NFL, James Laurinaitis. Really? Son of Road Warrior Animal, Joe Laurinaitis, and nephew of Mr. People Power himself, John Laurinaitis.
Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace. How about that? Couple of promotions for the staff of NXT. Matt Bloom, who appears on air as Jason Albert, has been promoted to the permanent head trainer position.
Oh, good for him.
And likewise, Sarah Amato, a.k.a. Sarah Del Rey, has been named the assistant head trainer.
Who's
Sarah Del Rey was a notable women's wrestler in the independents and had the distinction of appearing once on this program as part of the Remote from Hell. Yeah, the same one with Claudio Castagnoli, now known as Cesaro. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just, I don't need to rehash that story. That's old news at this point. But here's something I'll always rehash. That's right, wrestling action returning to the Monster Factory Saturday, June 6th with a 7 p.m. bell time. The main event, a fatal four-way for the Monster Factory Heavyweight Championship. Clutch Adams defending against the Wildman Congo, QT Marshall, and Luis the Punisher Martinez. Also, MV finally faces Jade Spencer one-on-one in a Monster Factory girls match, and Paid in Full is barred from ringside. Woo! For more info on the upcoming shows and more, check out the Monster Factory on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as their website, monsterfactory.org. Not too shabby there.
That really does sound exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's a couple weeks away now.
Yeah.
Now, I realized that the clips that I had were a bit longer than I had anticipated as far as the David Letterman stuff, so we're going to throw that up on the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page. So we'll put Andre up there, we'll put Vince McMahon up there, and we'll put it's almost like 18 minutes long, but it's the entire Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler hullabaloo. But be careful because the language is beyond colorful. Andy Kaufman has a bit of a filthy mouth. Or had a bit of a filthy mouth. I don't know. Maybe some people think he's still alive, that whole hoax thing or whatever. I don't know.
Sounded like Cleveland for a second, so I did the laugh.
Well, yeah, apparently I do a lot of the Mike Henry voice as well.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Also, Total Divas is changing nights.
Really?
Yeah, the reality show moving to Tuesday nights this summer, according to a lineup released by E! Entertainment. It'll air at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday nights beginning July 7th, and that happens to be right after Tough Enough on the USA Network, basically telling fans to watch Tough Enough on USA and then switch over to E! to watch Total Divas. And with that, we have just enough time. You can't let me say. I was going to say, for your favorite segment...
Birthdays.
Oh, that's not a good take.
We're going to do it like the OSW where it's just like, wrestling is... This is going to get less enthusiastic each time. Birthdays.
Birthdays. You're terrible.
Damn it, birthdays.
Well, on this date in 1942, Mary Alfosi was born. The former NWA and WWF women's wrestler known as Donna Christianello passed away in 2011 at the age of 69. Yeah, no, that one wasn't such a good one. But on this date in 1983, Patrick Martin was born. The former TNA Tag Team Champion and X Division Champion known as Alex Shelley. One half of the Motor City Machine Guns turns 32 today.
I missed that tag team. That was one of the only reasons I watched TNA. If only that tag team was in WWE, that would have been...
undersized.
Like when they did that best of 5 series with Beer Money, that was amazing.
That was great.
That was a great series.
You'll like this next one. On this date in 1987, Wyndham Rotunda was born. The current WWE superstar known as Bray Wyatt turns 28 today.
Nice.
And
he's only 28.
Yeah, he's only 28.
Damn.
And on this date in 1958, a Hall of Famer was born. He's a comedian, a game show host, and in 2011 was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where everything's
Whose birthday is it anyway? It's Drew Carey's.
Where everything's made up and his age doesn't matter, so don't ask. Don't ask.
No, I'm going to tell. He's 57.
1,000 points to Fearon.
You know what? There's some sort of an ask-tell joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. Instead, I think it's time we get going because it's about that time. So we'll be back next week with predictions certain to go wrong for Elimination Chamber and who knows what other insanity. Stay tuned. Nick Cataldi, he's up next with country music. Here on 1490 WBCV.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB 11.